Down, da, da, down, 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 down. This is Sony new 24 to 70 2.8 G Master version 2. And yeah, in this video, I'm gonna tell you all about it. I'm gonna compare it to the version 1 of this lens. I'm going to show you some wedding photos I've shot with it and overall how this lens is built, and yeah, lots of stuff, so let's go. Hello everyone, my name is Magic. I'm a destination wedding photographer, Sony Europe ambassador, father of 4 children. Welcome to this YouTube channel where I mostly talk about Sony gear, wedding photography and all that tips and tricks about shooting weddings with Sony, so consider subscribing if you're into any of these topics. And with this new lens, we can clearly see again the pattern that the Sony is having with all the new lens announcements. We've seen this like last year, like all the upgraded versions of the lenses. We've seen 70-200 version 2. We've seen this year 16-35 f4 version 2. And all of these lenses were smaller and better. Faster out of focus, sharper. So how about this new 24-70 G Master version 2? Did they manage to do it this time? Yes, totally. They packed it with all the newest technology to make it even smaller and to make it more awesome. Starting with a lens design and the overall build, we can clearly see a lot of upgrades to a version number 1. First of all, is way smaller. It's almost 200 grams lighter, which is what, half of a pound lighter. That's a huge difference, and that's very noticeable when shooting with this lens. It's also slimmer and basically a smaller lens. That's quite of a big change. And with that change, we also gained aperture ring. So we now have aperture ring that is both declickable and lockable. So you can here is the switch to make it smooth operation, so then it will go very smoothly for all of the video folks out there. And then there's this iris lock, which can lock the aperture either on A, which is automatic, or in between 2.8 and 22. Of course, we have 2 rings, zoom ring and a focusing ring. We do have 2 custom buttons. We do have AF to MF switch, and we have something that's also new. We do have a zoom smoothness switch. So right now, you can either choose a smooth zoom or tight zoom. And to compare it with the version 1, I'd say that the version 1 had a very tight zoom. So the tight option on the new lens, it feels like version 1 of the lens. You have to actually use some of your muscles to turn it, and then it will not go anywhere. It will stay whatever you choose. If we go for smooth, it's very light, but also it won't stay in a position, so it will go back. Eventually I'll go down. So when I was shooting with this lens, I preferred actually shooting with a smooth operation, so a lighter option to change the zoom. But then when I was shooting a specific focal length, let's say 50, and my lens was on my camera, hanging on my strap, whenever I would put it up, it would have a different, focal length, so it would just move. If you prefer it to be tight, there's the option now for that. If you prefer it to be smooth, that's up to you. And then the front element is the same size as the version 1, so it will take the same 82mm filters. But what's funny, even though the front element is the same size, the overall lens is just slimmer, so it looks quite funky actually to look at this new lens with this the bigger front element compared to the overall body. You can see it right here. So yeah, that's how it's built. But it's really light and compact. You can feel that right away holding this lens. And it's packed with all the newest Sony optics and technology. And what I mean by that, it has 4 linear motors, so for fast out of focus. I compared it to the version 1. It feels slightly faster. Version 1 was really fast. It also had linear motors. The older version of the linear motors, it weren't the the XD linear motors. Now we have XD linear motors, 4 of them. So it's as fast as let's say 135, 1.8, which is I think one of the fastest lens out there. You can see here comparison to the version 1. I do think that the version 2 is slightly faster. It does, of course, shoot 30 frames per second burst with Sony A1, and all these optical elements, actually let me read that because that's not easy. Check this out. It does have 3 aspherical lenses. It has 2 extreme aspherical lenses. It does have 2 extra low dispersion glass, and then we have 2 super extra low dispersion glass. So basically tons of all these new glass that makes it possible to make it that small and to control the chromatic aberration and to have like the extra sharpness that this lens it does have. So comparing it to the version 1, both of lenses are really sharp at both 24 or 70 or anything in between. The new one is slightly sharper, so the sharpness, like you can clearly see. Yeah, just look at the photos, you can tell. Probably you have to get your face closer to the screen to actually see, make sure you're watching in 4K. But yeah, slightly sharper than a version 1. Oh, and check this out. This is the full set from this shoot that I uploaded to my go-to gallery provider, which is Pic-Time, which is a sponsor of today's video. And if you haven't been using Pic-Time for your wedding business, I'm actually jealous about the change and transformation that you're about to have, because Pic-Time is hands down the best all-in-one platform to deliver, share, and sell your photos. And first of all, look how beautiful the gallery looks. And you can customize it. I always customize the colors to match the theme of the wedding. And then you can create a slideshow in it. So it has a built-in tool to create a slideshows. So you don't need additional software for that anymore. And then on top of that, it has built-in store that showcases the products you can sell with the images that your clients love. And seriously, it will choose the photos that your clients actually clicked hearts on and then populate the product photos with these photos. So your bride looking at the store will see her favorite images on your products. That's mind-blowing. And then you connect the store with like tons of labs you can choose from all around the world and get these orders automatically fulfilled by these labs. And then that's still not the end, because Pic-Time has what's called sales automations to help you sell your product. So it has pre-made marketing campaigns ready to go for Mother's Day, for holidays. And believe me, they have tons of data to make these actually work. So yeah, best platform ever. Go check this out, sign up for free trial, and then if you sign up with my code MAGIC, you get extra free month. Back to the video. And speaking of the photos, so my experience of shooting this lens, I shot a full wedding shoot with this lens. It was a style shoot, so like I had a shoot set up specifically to test this lens, and yeah, it's beautiful. It produces beautiful images. So shooting tele, so a 50 or 70 millimeters, it does produce beautiful bokeh. So you can see I could easily take a portrait that yeah, we have this background blur that it does look like a prime lens to me. And then of course shooting wide angle stuff as well was like everything was super sharp, super clean, very nice colors, very nice image look. And then I took it outside for like a walking shot test. So I had a couple walking towards me and I was like continuously shooting 10 frames per second because I had my Sony a7 IV. I wish I had A1 to see the 30 frames per second, but still with 10 frames per second, every photo is sharp, like the autofocus easily could follow the subject, and you can even track, you know, autofocus can easily track while zooming, so we can play around with that. So like the AF, the zooming, like everything about this lens is working as it's supposed to be working. So like I kind of always look at these claims that Sony has. They do this training for people that are testing the lenses and being like, this lens is going to be sharp, this lens is going to be fast, this lens is going to be this and that and that. And you know, it feels like the advertisement when they say this, but then you take this lens and it's everything that they said it's gonna be. So like amazing technical engineering from Sony. Again, they are killing it with the lenses. I have like whole line of the lenses. I have 35G Master that I personally purchased. I have a 50G Master that I personally purchased. I have 24G Master that I personally purchased. Like all these lenses are amazing. I am a prime lens shooter, so that was new to me, shooting this 24-70, and I actually have a video coming comparing a zooms versus primes during a wedding shoot, so that's coming next week. Subscribe if you want to watch that. But also, I cannot stress enough how small this lens is. Actually, look at this. This is the 24-70, and this is a 50G master. So 50G master is actually heavier, slightly heavier, but bigger, chunkier than a new 24-70, and I could feel that shooting when I was, changing the lens from a zoom to prime. I was like, wait, my prime is bigger than this zoom. And 85, obviously, it's also as big, 85 1.4G master. I do believe that we need a replacement for this. Let me know in the comments if you're waiting for a new version of 85. I am waiting for a new version of 85, as this one is big and old. And then, of course, with comparing it to 24 or 35, these are smaller, but still this is super impressive how small this new 24-70 is, and it's done without sacrificing any of the performance or the quality. So I do believe that for all of you zoom shooters, like the new lineup, so we have 24-70 version 2 and 70-200 version 2. These lenses are exceptional in like all the aspects. These are amazing. So if you're looking for unmatched quality with like the really compact size for what it is, this is the way to go. Actually, I believe that this 24-70 is the smallest full frame lens of its kind. There's no other 24-70 in this size or anything close to it. Everything is way bigger. And on top of that, with these new zooms, so both 70-200 and 24-70, we gain aperture ring. We have this smooth to tight. Like everything about this lens is basically better than a previous version. But it comes with a price. So the new version is going to be more expensive than the 24-70 version 1. It's going to be 600 euros more, but I believe that they will keep the old one and lower its price. So now you'll be able to choose one of these. One's going to be less expensive but bigger without the aperture ring, but quality of the image is going to be similar. So I do believe that for those of you who own 24-70, the upgrade is going to be only about the size and these aperture features and basically like the build of this lens, because the quality is slightly better. I don't think it's better to the point that it's worth just, ditching your old lens and buying a new one. But if you want a smaller one and a better one, then obviously that's the way to go. And I think that's going to be a main, decision factor about this lens, having the best lens possible in the smallest version, or having almost as good lens as this, but bigger, chunkier. I know, guys, what do you think about it? Like zoom people, tell me in the comments, what do you think about this new 24-70? I do think it's awesome and can't wait for my comparison with the prime lenses. So stay tuned for that next week. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.